dominated the world have used money to rule it and have ruled it in their own interest. It looks at a world economic system that has no regard for the poor, that has no regard for the small nations, that has no regard for the poor of the small nations. And the policy is a dignified policy, is not a violent policy, is not a policy of guns. It's a very honorable policy, but it is a very clear policy. It is a policy that calls the poor of the world to stand together, to stand firm together, to struggle together, to struggle for change, to struggle for justice, to struggle through organization, to struggle through will, to struggle through determination, to struggle to build a new kind of world in which your children and mine will walk with more dignity, with better housing, with better opportunity, with better prices, with better response from the world monetary system. That is the world to which I call you. That is the world for which I struggle, and no power will turn me back from that world. And comrades, if you go and walk with me, if you go and step with me, if you go and move with me, we're moving as warriors. We're moving in determination. We're moving to struggle. We're moving to change that world. No power will turn us back.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who you know?
But if change is what we really want to see, ladies and gentlemen, then we must rise up. We must unite. We must advocate. We cannot remain silent. Where are the young men, the young women, the men, the women, the boys, the girls who will put aside political divide and do what is best for Jamaica? Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Even our pledge, our national pledge, says before God and all mankind, we cannot see a better Jamaica unless we return to the foot of the cross. Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play our part.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I said I'm happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his hand. Yes, mommy, I see you. Yes, the journey's almost over. Shut up. And the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling. I have a feeling in my heart. The best is yet to come. Slide up it over there, so una ready to get, una get up now, man. Una get up now, man. I feel mad in this place. Let's go. I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his. Over there, so I said the journey's almost over. I know the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling in my heart, the best is yet. Come on, sir. I said the best is yet to come. When I walk through heaven's gates, yeah, I said the first time I'll see Jesus. I can hardly wait. And he showed me to a mansion and said, child, this is your home. And I have a feeling in my heart. You know this one? Listen.
Oh, you know. I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. We have done now. I want to hear Archangel voice. I want to hear Archangel. Oh, I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear Archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless her now. I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody do so. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be.
Blood and fire, comrades who are in jungle tonight. On a note, say the word is love. Comrades, I come with a speech, but it's a different speech may I forgive tonight. But before I go into that, we have been saying all night that young people know say time come. And I want to bring up a young man who has looked for himself, him read for himself, him search for for himself. And when him done, him realize that the only choice he could choose is the People's National Party. And I want to welcome Comrade Perry.
Hold on. We don't have much time. When I say time, you say come. Time. Senator Murray, somebody asked me, Perry, why aren't you a Labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow. No. Ha, ho. Who ya know? Underpants, Paulo. We the gal in the
Hold on, cut in, man, hold on.
Me coulda never green.
Hold on, no DJ, man, hold on. I don't have much time. The next Prime Minister, let me shake your hands, so big up yourself, Mark Golding, Jensek, and brother, Dayton Campbell, doctor. Listen, in 1938, the People's National Party was formed out of the vision to help the poor people. It was born out of restlessness of the people seeking for better. And I believe that the People's National Party continues to be the answer for the people. Can I hear an amen? Hold on. In 1995, under the auspices of PJ Patterson, the most honorable, there was a revitalization and an extension of the new National Youth Service Program, which gave young people the opportunity to earn commandment church. It gave people the opportunity to better themselves. I don't have much time. But hear what? I hear the other people them say, you must choose Jamaica, but you can't choose Jamaica without choosing the people. God bless you.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow. No. Ha, ho. Me coulda never green dog, me no chow.
You have your blood, comrades.
Comrades, I want to let you know that young man is the former guild president at the University of the West Indies. That is the kind of young people that we attract in the People's National Party.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
He leadeth me, for by his hands he leadeth me. His faithful follower I will be, for by his hands he leadeth me. He leadeth me. He leadeth me. Come on, like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. For by his hands he leadeth me. What the song say? His faithful follower I will be, for by his hands he leadeth me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Perspective. I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr. Please to like, comment, share, and subscribe. What you say, Daniel Taylor? When our task on earth is done, I'll fly away, oh glory, I fly away in the morning when my life on earth is ended. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I fly away in the morning when my life on earth is ended. I, oh, fly away. Some glad morning when my life is over, I'll fly away. All right. Let me know. I don't want to keep church. But ladies and gentlemen, can we take a minute just to give the Lord thanks, man? I believe God has been doing a marvelous thing in our lives, and we want to give him thanks. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know where you're viewing from. Let me know where you're viewing from right now. We're about to dive right in. We have a mouthful to discuss, and of course, I did promise you that for the month of March, we got some things sorted out. So we'll be taking a lot more calls in this season, especially on Saturdays. Yes, a brilliant show will be coming for Saturdays where we're just taking calls like call center. Clarendon, Kingston, Mandeville, Falmouth, Southfield, St. Elizabeth, Virginia, Shiloh. Who else? Massachusetts is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. South Florida, Ontario, Canada, New York. Canada is in the place. Yes, Savannah, Lamar, Westmoreland, Florida again. Portland. You come like a whole heap of Florida people there about so. Bogwalk is in the house. Who else? Montchanil is here. Blessings to East Portland every time. Who else? Watching from East Portland. Who else again? Lakeland, Florida, Bronx is here. Crooked River, Jane. Yes, man. Canada, Lloydersville, St. Catherine, Wisconsin, North Carolina. Come on again, man. Hertford, Westmoreland, Southeast St. Anne, Montchanil, Portland, Brownstown. That sound like Brownstown, St. Anne. Or is a different Brownstown that? Let me know in the comments. Roy Campbell is a different Brownstown that. Central Westmoreland is here. Connecticut is here. Dana is letting Carol know that you just come in. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. Let's get the show on the road. I'm very excited. Let's go.
The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Dig up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them a rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place. No safe is a prime minister. Are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this are my perspective, telling you my perspective. These are my perspective to bring change that I feel.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is quite a lot happening in our country, and it calls for some serious conversations. I could start this show from different angles. So much. Where to start? Let me start by tackling this matter that I'm seeing here. Over 5 billion in grants distributed so far under the government's Roofs program. This is what the government is saying, ladies and gentlemen, that over 5 billion in grants have been distributed so far under the Roofs program, a program that they started up to organize, right, relief and things of that nature. Remember that this government has been very slow, ladies and gentlemen, as it relates to their own relief efforts. But I'm asking, ladies and gentlemen, who get them 5 billion here? Because I've been looking on social media and a lot of persons are yet to receive anything. So who get the 5 billion? Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. Like up the live. Who get it? Minister of Information. Who get the 5 billion in grants? Because a lot of persons are yet to see anything. Who is overseeing the distribution of the 5 billion? We have a problem in this country, ladies and gentlemen, where people want to do what they want to do. No proper oversight, no transparency. You can't hold anybody accountable. And why is it that the opposition is still not a part of these so-called initiatives that they're having? Who is able to confirm that the 5 billion in grants were distributed and distributed equally? How are we sure that it wasn't done in a very partisan way? Is this the way in which the Jamaica Labour Party will be paying back their supporters? I'm just simply asking a question.
Something alright. Something alright, yeah.
How are we sure that both supporters of the JLP and the PNP will be beneficiaries from these grants? Can we just ponder a little bit, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not trying to discredit the government in any way. I'm just asking, and from a reasonable place too. Because last year, ladies and gentlemen, the government was accused with proof that they have been distributing aid in a very partisan way. So how can we have confidence in this administration that the over 5 billion that they claim to have given out, ladies and gentlemen, it has been distributed in a way that we would be pleased with? Well, based on what I'm seen on social media, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people are yet to receive any grant. I'm wondering if the Auditor General Ricardo will come out and ask for transactions details, and there won't be any to show, because this government has a way, ladies and gentlemen, of avoiding documentation. So I'm just asking, Minister, who can come out? What independent body is out there? Where are the technocrats? Who is giving the proper oversight to ensure that these claims are true? Gone are the days, ladies and gentlemen, when I just get up and believe anything that any government tells us, especially the Andrew Holness-led administration. I'm sorry, it is wishful thinking for us to just get up and believe anything that is coming from this administration. Who is getting the grants? Who? I'm just asking. And this season, ladies and gentlemen, it calls for us to be very, very vigilant, because we had a September 3rd election last year. And I can tell you this. We saw where certain churches get them return on their investment. A lot of these churches, they invested in the Jamaica Labour Party, And a lot of them, they endorsed the Andrew Holness-led administration. And they had to come out and defend the Prime Minister when the Prime Minister said that he'll be giving away millions of dollars to churches to help with the cleanup. Likewise, I can tell you this, that a lot of the Labourites, probably one of the main reasons why they won't hold this government accountable is because they know that they will be compensated. So who is going to be getting these grants? Who can come out and tell us that they've received these grants? A lot of talks will be made, ladies and gentlemen, because this season, ladies and gentlemen, the Labourites are under heavy pressure, and they want us to keep asking the questions. We have to keep asking the questions, and we have to keep the pressure on. These grand announcements and these grand statements, it will not move me. I want to see proof. I want to know who is getting the money. Who is getting the money? Blessings, Debbie Miller, for joining. Come on, guys, just continue to touch up the screen. They are going to tell us that billions of dollars have been given out. No transparency, just these announcements. And we are supposed to believe this? It's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. And on the same matter of finances, 95 financial statements are outstanding from the municipal corporations. I don't care what political party is running these municipal corporations. We have a problem in this society. We have a problem in our governance today, and it's a lack of documentation. Nobody wants to tell us how is it that they're spending their money. Listen and hear what is happening.
Welcome back, and continuing the news. The number of outstanding financial statements for municipal corporations has jumped to 95. The Auditor General reported the increase at this morning's sitting of the Public Accounts PAC Committee. Now, what's the plan to clear the backlog? Andrea Chisholm explains.
New year, same old problem. Most municipal corporations are way behind in completing their financial statements, which are required by law. Without the statements, the Auditor General is unable to sign off on how money is being handled. 95 financial statements are outstanding, and come July 2026, statements for the 2025-2026 fiscal year, which ends on March 31, will become due.
Two primary factors are the lack of the financial management system that is needed to prepare and present the financial statements in a IPSAS, which is the standard required, IPSAS compliant format, and the MCs continue to have challenges in preserving and presenting the supporting records for the financial statement.
Officials explained the challenges facing most municipal corporations.
The documents are stored manually. Documents are stored like in a container, in a room, so you will have insects that will damage it.
What we have found out is that the strong room is not a strong room. It is the roof is actually collapsing. So at this point, we are making arrangements to move all of those records, because since Melissa, some of them have since gotten wet, and we have since sent off a correspondence to say these records have been defaced.
To fix the problem, most municipal corporations have organized the documents in their possession and are outsourcing the job to accounting firms. They have also developed a timeline to complete each financial statement. The permanent secretary in the local government ministry said they're in the process of receiving additional computers to implement the new accounting software.
My IT person is advising me that approximately 6 months.
So if you said first month, so let's conservatively say you by May, right? We're talking about at 6 months, that's what, about November, December, before all should have that system up and running in each municipal corporation.
Provided they also have the systems, as in the computers.
And the procurement process includes support from the vendor throughout this entire implementation phase?
Yes, sir.
With improved salaries in the public sector, the ministry is hoping to attract competent professionals through the recruiting exercise now underway. Staff will also receive training for the new accounting system. Andrea Chisholm, TVJ News.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am almost convinced that, and I will still give people the benefit of the doubt, I'll still give people the benefit of the doubt, even though it is very clear that this government, they take people for complete idiots. They continue to undermine and to belittle the intelligence of the Jamaican people. This is something that continually happens, ladies and gentlemen. There is no transparency when it comes to our financial records right across the board. We are unable to track in any sensible way how is it that taxpayers' dollars are being spent. Some of the people in power, ladies and gentlemen, some of the people in government, ladies and gentlemen, they squander our money when our money should be used for more productive purposes, fixing the roads, creating opportunities for the people, the young people, etc. We cannot account for the dollars being spent because no document, it's not on the books. And if you should check, Karel, it is very possible that some of these people, they take our monies and they do all sorts of things with it. So who will now be held accountable for all of these financial statements not available to show how every penny is being spent? Sir, see, I don't care if it is JLP or PNP, and I said it from the very beginning. It doesn't matter who. Financial statements are important. Accountability is very important. Politicians need to understand that they are not in power to benefit from people's money, hard working money, and do what you want to do with it. I don't care on which side. How? There's no push, there's no desire to fix whatever problems are there as it relates to the record keeping. Yes, Hurricane Melissa come and damage some of the rooms where the documents existed, or where the documents could have been found. But in truth and in fact, ladies and gentlemen, long before Hurricane Melissa, a lot of these municipal corporations, they didn't normally submit documents to begin with. It is something, ladies and gentlemen, that has been happening for a long time. So why is it that people are now going to be using Melissa as an excuse? Well, this is learned behavior. We see it from central government. We see it from the Prime Minister and other executives. They continually use Melissa as a scapegoat for their own inefficiencies, for their own incompetence. Somebody must be held accountable. We cannot continue like this perspective. People continue to get away with murder, wasting taxpayers' dollars, doing God knows what with it. And in every scenario, in every situation, the people get the bitter end of the stick. It is we the people who will now have to be blocking road because things are not being done. But we can't know what them do with the money. We don't know what that dollar spend and do. We don't know who to ask. Nobody's speaking up. It's just a den of robbers and listen to what I'm saying. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. But Jamaica is silent. Jamaica is sedated. In some other countries, ladies and gentlemen, this could not be happening for too long. People block road and demonstrate long time. Unless Jamaica is such a rich country and we have money to waste. If that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, then let me know. And probably I'm wasting my time coming on here and advocating. But if we are a developing nation, if we are a country who is yet to experience prosperity under this administration, if we are tired of the lack of proactiveness from the government, if we desire good governance in our country, then my God, Jamaica, let us raise our voices and demand better governance. I don't care if it is PNP or JLP. It cannot be that time and 95 financial statements outstanding from the corporations. All of that information, we don't know. You know how serious that is? The many millions, the many billions unaccounted, we don't know how them spend the money. But Jamaica is happy. Jamaica is singing. Jamaica is marching at other events and doing other things. While these things are taking place. So we can march and parade. But in an election here, Ricardo, not long after a general election where I can tell you money spent after an election. 95 financial statements cannot be found. What do you mean by that? Outstanding. So who should submit these documents? The financial department in these corporations. You have to come to the very front of the line and tell us what is happening. What? The balance sheet now balance? Am I to believe, ladies and gentlemen, that the piggy banks for these corporations that should have been used on the people and on the communities to uplift society, am I to believe that these dollars were used for something else? But if the head of the stream is corrupt, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot expect anything better. We cannot expect anything better. How? How can we expect anything better? In recent times, we've been seeing a massive increase in drug trafficking and all sort of things happening in this country. It's like the gate just open for all sort of things. Major ganja bust offshore Manchester, 4 arrested. These people, I'm happy that the 4 are arrested, but I can tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, when you see big operations like these, it's not some little man involved. Jamaica has become a corrupt nation that is unrecognizable before many eyes. Jamaica has become a corruption central. All hell is breaking loose in our country. All hell is breaking loose. Nobody wants to work honest. But yeah man, the gate fly wide open because the head of the stream corrupt. Then if every young youth, if every young person, if everybody in society see that we have an uncertified prime minister who can still travel on taxpayers' dollar, him can still lead the country and represent the nation at CARICOM and many other meetings, holding the highest office, and nothing comes of it. What is to stop these people from pushing them coke and whatever else them pushing? What is to stop them? What are you gonna tell them? Because a precedent has been set, and as I've always said, just when it comes to drugs, when you see them catch them like this, 85% of the times, ladies and gentlemen, a bigger shipment gone, the bigger catch gone. Either way, a lot is at stake. But nothing is going to change, ladies and gentlemen, because we have set a standard in this country. We see ministers breaking procurement guidelines, gaslighting the public. Nobody can talk to them. An uncertified prime minister doing all of these things. Nothing is coming out of it. What do you expect? Illicit enrichment left, right and center, but nothing is coming out of it. How are you going to tell people that they shouldn't be involved in criminality when it seems as if it is favoring a lot of the politicians very well? How can you expect people to put aside crime and violence in our country? We talk about crime and violence. We talk about the reduction in murder. We talk about crime going down. But the precedent that the government has set It is the order of the day. It is what we can expect going forward. It is just another normal day in Jamaica. Because the ones who should know better, they don't do better. So the example that is being set, ladies and gentlemen, is for young men like myself to go out there, get involved in corruption, drug trafficking, murder, human trafficking, scamming, and many other very serious crimes. And then it is the same government is going to come now and lament, thinking that things are going to change. Clean up your house, Andrew Holness-led administration. Clean up your house. That's what you need to do. No accountability, no nothing. It's a breeding ground for criminality.
Wow. We are having an earthquake. Oh God.
That's an earthquake?
Jamaica has become a safe haven for criminality. A safe haven for, if you want to get away with corruption, come to Jamaica. If you want to be a part of a government that when you get involved in corruption, you are promoted. You can avoid prison as long as you want. You can try and frustrate the legality. Join the Andrew Holness-led administration. If you want to get away with crimes, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to avoid providing financial statements for the relevant authorities to do the proper checks and balances to ensure that the people are not being robbed, but their tax dollars are being put to good use, come to Jamaica. Come. The Jamaica Labour Party's catchphrase is not prosperity, it's corruption. Well, prosperity for a certain set of people. It's not prosperity for... If you want to get away with murder in this country, if you want to avoid being held accountable, if you want to blatantly break laws and regulations and rules, be a part of this administration. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaica has become a breeding ground. A breeding ground. Used car importer, unmoved by hint of legal action following breakdown of contract to provide vehicles for cops. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Apparently, and I found this very ironic. I found this to be very ironic. Hear what happened, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently this big used car importer have some outstanding assets for the government, and the government is hinting at taking legal actions. But hear what? Nearly a decade after entering into a now collapsed agreement with used car importer O'Brien's International Car Rentals and Sales, the government of Jamaica is yet to receive 41 vehicles valued at more than $74 million for the police force. What a calamity.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow. No. Ho. Who ya know?
Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? Government, what is the issue remains partially resolved. That is what they are saying. The Ministry of National Security and Peace disclosed last Thursday in a response to Gleaner queries. It stated that the overall status is that 213 million was paid to O'Brien's as a 50% down payment on 200 vehicles. Come let them chop the government, ladies and gentlemen. What a piece of disgrace.
Cause one by one, who no go into jail. One by who no go into. One by.
Ladies and gentlemen, government. Aye, Lord of mercy. This doesn't sound good at all. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this is what Clement E. Banks, managing director of O'Brien, say. If them take it to court, they can't win me. Huh? Yes, sir, see, you're right. Them say if them take him to court, them can't. I wonder what is it that Mr. E. Banks have? Why the government can't win this man? So don't you know who fi frighten in this country? Don't you know who fi frighten? How me not hear the government talking much about this? How me not hear the government saying much about this, ladies and gentlemen? Don't you really know who fi frighten? The Jamaican government is yet to receive 40 ward vehicles. What is happening? There are many ways we can look. Yes. What? Me not understand. There are many ways to look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Because I'm hearing that this is another scandal loading. I'm hearing, ladies and gentlemen, that it is another saga. You remember from Bobby Montague days? Listen, I don't want to start talk some things, ladies and gentlemen. But all of these things, they are happening because corruption is happening blatantly under this administration. But the man says he is very, very firm in his him say if them take it to court, they can't win me. Beat them. Be a scandal. Where they call them there? A lot of these conversations, they've died out. And while all of this is happening, I'm hearing it is alleged that the same Bobby organized a protest to try and make what happened to the dear Melissa Silvera a PNP issue, because this is what the labor rights continue to do. They are unable to look past the politics. They are unable to look past the politics. While all of this is happening, while the corruption taking place, where are the cars? We have to ask. They have time to try and make a tragedy like what happened to Mrs. Silvera, a political matter, because they're all about political leverage. But it flop. It flop, ladies and gentlemen. It flop big time. But I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you hear what persons who were at the protest had to say. Don't get me, wrong, ladies and gentlemen. What happened was a very sad case. But I don't agree with political operatives, with political members getting involved in things like this, ladies and gentlemen, and trying to make it into a political issue when it is not. Yes, man, head boy, send me some things. Alright. Head boy, send me some things, ladies and gentlemen. I have a receipt. I have a receipt, ladies and gentlemen. You not seeing it? Money was spent. But money was spent. But it flopped. But hear what the persons had to say about the protest. And we're going to touch more on the Silvera thing a little later. But listen to this, ladies and gentlemen.
Justice, truth be ours forever. The theme this evening for a protest for Melissa Silvera at the Emancipation Park in Kingston. Now, several people gathered wearing black to show their support. Our reporter, Romarda Lyons, was at the protest and he filed this report.
For Melissa! To justice for Melissa! Justice for Melissa! Justice for
lot of people are gathered here at the Emancipation Park in Kingston. Now, many people should know that this park commemorates freedom from slavery. But this afternoon, people are here for a cause, and that cause is freedom from injustice. Now, Melissa Silveira, she was killed in November 2023. Her husband, Julian Silveira, he was charged for her murder. And in February, just last month, he pleaded guilty to manslaughter. That did not sit well with a lot of Jamaicans, and so they are out here this afternoon with two main charges. One, mouth versus gun, and two, provocation is not justification. I spoke with some family members, and they shared what they hope this movement sends, the message it sends to Jamaica.
I'm so traumatized and so shocked about it because I lived there with them from the day after the incident until he was taken away. I do hope that what happened today has enforced a lot to all women and even men that if something happens, you either talk it out or walk it out, but you don't try to do any harm of any form to each other, because it's not going to put us anywhere, because if you do harm, you should be punished.
As a woman, and the understanding of the abuse that happens all over the world, specifically in Jamaica, it's just a great opportunity to just showcase that. And I see it this way, that Melissa's death would not be in vain because it has brought this level of awareness, and it's something that has to be continued. But, that is my passion, the protection of women.
I don't think words can really describe. So really, I'm heartened by everyone who has come, not to show solidarity just for Melissa, but for injustice to women on a whole. So that is really just a message. Everybody to come to remember that women are very, very vital to us. There are our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunties, our sisters, our nieces. They deserve to live. They deserve to live in peace. No matter what happens, we're all human beings. And the right to life is the primary right, and that's really, as family, what we want everybody to just recognize. Melissa was our family, she was a person, and just the legacy of her being a person, that's really it.
It started raining earlier, and as a result, the crowd started dwindling minute by minute, but they say they're still resolute in the message they want to send. I spoke with some others who commented on the fact that Mr. Silveira's sentencing will be streamed live on Friday.
I'm very happy that was decided, because that was one of my fears, that everything was going to be done behind doors, just like how the procedure was done behind doors. I thought that was going to be behind doors. So I will definitely be listening to the sentencing and hoping for the best, and hoping that the judge will give a fair and just, importantly, just judgment.
My thoughts on that is that more public disclosure and transparency around the conversion of the charge from murder to manslaughter and the circumstances around that decision. I think the citizens deserve and expect that. So the sentencing, yes, while it's nice, it's for me, it's the least.
I think accountability-wise, it's good for Jamaicans to see the system and to see the system at work. And it obviously reduces the skepticism in the justice system. So yeah, and as a regardless of the situation, as a Jamaican, it is something that I would want to have participated in, even if it wasn't my relative.
The crowd here was hoping they could continue until 6 p.m. this evening, but the rain thwarted those plans. However, they do have another protest scheduled for Thursday, March 19 in New Kingston. It's back to you in studio.
Justice for Melissa.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say a few things before the first break. I'm going to be taking some calls soon as well, but I have to be very careful with what I say because this is a sensitive matter. I want to make it very clear. We should never support abuse or murder of women. Neither should we support the murder or abuse of men nor our children. We are standing on the notion that murder is wrong. And those who must be held accountable should be held accountable and must face the full force of the law. That is my stance. However, I have a few concerns. I wouldn't have had no problem with a protest, even specifically for the death of Melissa Silvera. I'm gonna talk about the many other issues in our country that I'm yet to see a protest for. But fine, if people feel very attached to the Melissa Silvera case and they feel as if they want to make a statement to the public that, hey, this what really happened was a very serious thing and we want to show our support, I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with, ladies and gentlemen, is when members of the Jamaica Labour Party make what is a very serious matter, a very unfortunate situation, a political one. Listen to what I'm saying. I have no problem, Paulette, with people coming out, because who feels it knows. If it was your family member and you feel as if, right, more should have been done or whatever the case is, and you want to come out and protest, I have no problem with that. But when it is perceived to be a political stunt to get a one-up over your political rival, that devalues the entire thing. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, it is rather unfortunate. Once labor rights started to make it a political issue, a lot of persons stayed away from the entire situation. Do I believe that thousands of Jamaicans are grieving and are also in support of wanting to see more in terms of justice for Melissa Silvera? Of course. But nobody's going to get up and be a part of a protest that is perceived to be politically motivated. Nobody's going to get up and support something like that the Jamaica Labour Party supporters are using as a weapon to try and sully the reputation of the PNP. Nobody's going to be a part of something that now it is coming out with receipts, with messages, that it is alleged that Bobby Montague allegedly had something to do with the organization of the protest. But because the numbers didn't come out, because the messaging wasn't against the PNP per se, and because it flopped, it is alleged, you hear me talk, it is alleged that he wants back the funds. Nobody's going to be a part of anything, ladies and gentlemen, that is coming from political malice. It is also alleged, ladies and gentlemen, that the person in question for organizing this protest was simply doing it out of political grudge because he lost to Silvera in the past. Listen to what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. I have a problem when politicians try to weaponize these very unfortunate circumstances to gain political relevance and leverage. You cannot behave in this way and expect people to support it. It's not right. These are the things labor rights are not talking about. Let's take the conversation a little further. How many of these people, remember, I already said, it is unfortunate. Those who are guilty must face the law. I support the safety of women. I support the safety of men. I support the safety of our children. But how many of these people, and I'm not talking specifically to Melissa's family, but how many of our Jamaicans, let me put it there, came out to protest for what happened to Jaden Smith? How many of our Jamaicans are willing to come out and protest against the blatant corruption happening in our government today. How many of us as Jamaicans are willing to go out and ask for the resignation of Minister Tufton, who has brought the health and wellness in this country at an all-time low? How many of our Jamaicans are willing to ask for the resignation of Mr. Vaz when it is clear he has no regard for rules and regulations? How many of us as Jamaicans are willing to come out and protest against the $11.4 billion that the government will again take from the National Housing Trust, which will add further to the home ownership crisis that we are experiencing in this country? How many Jamaicans are willing to come out and ask for transparency, accountability, and integrity to be at the helm of our leadership in this country? Not many persons want to come out and march for that. Not many Jamaicans want to come out and protest against that. We have a double standard in this nation. We cannot have selective outrage. How many of our children are going missing? Infanticide happened yesterday. Yes, it is said that postpartum, yes, it's a very serious thing. But I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, for months we've been seeing many other women being chopped up, shot up, killed. But because of these women are not from affluent backgrounds, them not have certain last name, them not come from certain societies. I don't want to sound like me, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to disregard what happened to Melissa Heineman. My heart goes out. I have 2 sisters and a daughter. A mother who I love. I understand. But how many of our women and our children were brutally murdered, gone missing? Where were these people to come out and ask for justice then? So what? If you're not from a certain family, if you don't come from a certain financial status, if you don't come from a certain class, nobody's going to go out and protest for you? So while I'm not against a genuine protest, but don't isolate an issue and make it seem as if it's only one person or one woman in this country who has been unfortunately murdered or whatever the case is. We cannot pick and choose. What about the 4-year-old? Look at what happened in Denham Town the other day. This woman from the community said she cannot understand how the people in Denham Town so quiet. A son and his father was murdered. How many of our Jamaicans scared? So I am very careful with my words. I've always been. I am not against people coming together and to say, listen, let us do a peaceful protest against domestic violence. But I have an issue with Jamaicans. We have a lot of double standards, and we have what I call a selective outrage. And the facts, sir, see that it is alleged that money had to be spent to get a little crowd to come together. It is very telling that many of them never cared to begin with. You know what, let me take the break. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Let me take a break.
The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. It's a prime minister. I are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this are my perspective.
And Pearl Therapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub. Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation, guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center just 10 minutes away from two major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Dublin Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-573-9124. Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where desire meets dining.
Greetings, my perspective family. Perry Cummings Jr. here. Listen, we have some very sensitive matters to touch on. Well, we touched on one of them, but you know, it is very, very sad, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very sad. But you know, the Prime Minister came out and defended the 11.4 billion, you know, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, man, Paulie, tell them to like up the live. I don't want to take no break for like up the live. Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. Like it up, like it up, like it up. Blessings, 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 blessings. The Prime Minister came out and defended the move of the government on the NHT. This is what the Prime Minister is saying, ladies and gentlemen.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness continues to defend the government's drawdown of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to fund the budget. He was speaking at the official launch of the Wicon's Chester Creek development in Portmore, St. Catherine. Jamila Maitland reports.
The only options that will remain to you in funding the deficit is either to cut the services to you or raise the taxes.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness laid out the two options that Cabinet was forced to consider to fund the $1.4 trillion budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Finance Minister Favour Williams told the Parliament that the government intends to draw down from the National Housing Trust $11.4 billion annually for 5 years to finance the budget. That's $57 billion for the period.
The government isn't taking the resources from the NHT for, reasons that are not of national importance and concern. And yes, we acknowledge that these funds are contributed on the basis that they will be used for housing. And this cannot continue forever. The government has to use these resources to strengthen our economic base so that we don't have to take the resources out of the NHT.
Dr. Holness, who was speaking at the official opening of the Chester Creek housing project in Portmore, St. Catherine on Tuesday, says the decision will not impact the NHT's ability to function. However, the opposition disagrees. Leader Mark Golding said they would not support the government. According to the NHT, ground is expected to be broken for 10,675 housing solutions for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. 5,673 solutions are expected to be delivered to the market.
I think the public now understands that the international community is not coming to rescue us. I think the public now understands that borrowing is not an option. And therefore, we have to make wise choices with the resources that we have.
Jamaica Maitland, TVJ News.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Prime Minister. Your Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen. Taking 11.4 billion from the NHT. It will not impact it. That's what your Prime Minister said. Yes, I think you're all unreasonable, man. Why are you pressuring the Prime Minister like that, huh? God almighty. It is such a shame. Wasn't it the same Prime Minister who came out the other day? And I said just the other day, You remember when the Prime Minister was in opposition? Who remembered when the Prime Minister was in opposition?
That in principle you believe that NHT funds should be ring-fenced to be used for NHT contributors.
It should be ring-fenced to use for the objects and purposes of the legislation, yes.
So let's just say the court ruling goes either way. Let's say there is a court ruling that says, no, actually, the government can use it for whatever it wants. You have your belief in principle. Does that mean that as Prime Minister, you would then follow through on those principles?
Yes, my
either
principles
amend the law if necessary,
yes,
and ensure, in fact, that the dipping into the piggy bank doesn't occur.
And I tell you why.
That's a commitment?
It stands as a commitment.
Ladies and gentlemen, you remember when the Prime Minister was campaigning? I have the receipts,
We will bring down the interest rates on mortgages, but we will use the NHT money to build housing rather than to take it back to go pay the IMF. Your money that you save for house should be available to you to build house, repair your house, improve your house, and buy land. The Jamaica Labour Party makes that commitment to you. But there are over 300 housing developments just sitting there. Can't happen. You know why? No water. So if you invest in water, make water supply accessible and reliable, then people will start to build house and housing development. And you know what that means? It means jobs in the construction sector for our unemployed. And that means more man, I get more pay, so him can take care of his baby mother or his wife. That him can save up, buy him little car, start through partner again. But this is what growth means. Is when your household economy grows, the Jamaican economy grows. Is when you can do better in your house. Is when your banana tree, instead of having one, have 2, 3, 4, 5 because you have water, they can grow. Is when your melon get bigger because it have more water. So when you put it on the scale, you're getting more. That's what we mean when we say the economy grow. And that's what...
Mr. Prime Minister, you are misleading the people of this country. You said that the actions, I don't want to quote him wrong, I'm going to play exactly what the Prime Minister said. And I'm going to stop it when we've heard what he said as it relates to taking money from the NHT and how it will affect the NHT. I believe the Prime Minister has misled the country, and it is my duty as an advocate to caution the Prime Minister against those statements.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness continues to defend the government's drawdown of $11.4 billion from the National Housing Trust to fund the budget. He was speaking at the official launch of the Wicon's Chester Creek development in Portmore, St. Catherine. Jamaica Maitland reports.
The only options that will remain to you in funding the deficit is either to cut the services to you or raise the taxes.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness laid out the two options that Cabinet was forced to consider to fund the $1.4 trillion budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. Finance Minister Favour Williams told the Parliament that the government intends to draw down from the National Housing Trust $11.4 billion annually for 5 years to finance the budget. That's $57 billion for the period.
The government isn't taking the resources from the NHT for, reasons that are not of national importance and concern. And yes, we acknowledge that these funds are contributed on the basis that they will be used for housing. And this cannot continue forever. The government has to use these resources to strengthen our economic base so that we don't have to take the resources out of the NHT.
Dr. Holness, who was speaking at the official opening of the Chester Creek housing project in Portmore, St. Catherine on Tuesday, says the decision will not impact the NHT's ability to function. However, the opposition disagrees. Leader Mark Golding said they would not support the government. According to the NHT, ground is expected to be broken for 10,675 housing solutions for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. 5,673 solutions are expected to be delivered to the market.
I think the public now understands that the international community is not coming to rescue us. I think the public now understands that borrowing is not an option. And therefore, we have to make wise choices with the resources that we have.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Mr. Prime Minister, the NHT uses contributions to finance housing construction across the island. If 11.4 billion annually is taken away, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Holness, the NHT would have less capital to build new housing schemes. 1. Thousands of potential housing units could be delayed or cancelled. 3. Jamaica's housing mortgage. Jamaica's housing shortage, rather, could increase. For context, ladies and gentlemen, building a modest housing unit in Jamaica can cost 8 to 12 million or more, depending on the development. 11.4 billion could fund hundreds or even over 1,000 homes each year. The hypocrisy is, ladies and gentlemen, when the debt was so high to GDP back then, and that we inherited from Bruce Golding, and we had to use monies from the NHT to do so, to try, because this was a national emergency. Jamaica was on a path to wreck and ruin. When the PNP did it, it was the same man who went out and demonized the government for doing it. It was the worst thing, according to the Prime Minister, that the PNP could have ever done. But look at what is happening now. The NHT provides low interest mortgages to contributors. If the funds are reduced, the NHT may approve fewer mortgages. Contributors may have longer waiting periods. Some applicants may not qualify due to limited funds. This would especially hurt low and middle income earners who depend on the NHT loans because commercial banks have higher interest rates. The Prime Minister is acting as if taking 11.4 billion per year for the next 5 years will not hurt the NHT. Yes, it will, Mr. Prime Minister. Yes, it will. Removing 11.4 billion yearly would mean fewer development projects, delays in planned housing communities, contractors and developers could face reduced work opportunities. You are crippling the institution. You're crippling the institution, Mr. Prime Minister, that was instituted to benefit the low income and middle income earners. You are raiding the NHT again. Workers contribute 3% of their salary, Mr. Prime Minister, to the NHT with the expectation that the money will help them buy homes. If billions are diverted, contributors may feel their housing contributions are being used for unrelated government spending. This can lead to loss of public trust in the NHT system. So say what you want to say now, Mr. Prime Minister. Say what your justifications are today. You didn't have to take 11.4 billion. You received trillions of dollars. What happened to all of those monies that we received from our international communities? And if it is that you can use funds that were not intended to help the government improve the economy, but these monies were used to make houses for the people, if you can use money that was not intended to do that, then you can use some of the loan that you received from the international community to attack these issues too. When PMP did it, ladies and gentlemen, it was the worst thing. They demonized it. The PNP didn't do a good thing and they made it seem as if, ladies and gentlemen, that there wasn't any proper justifications to do it. Look at the hypocrisy today. Look at the hypocrisy today. Somebody said me I pay a housing trust for 21 years and can't get a house. My God Almighty. What will happen, Michelle Thompson, when the 11.4 billion start come out of it? I wish you won't have to wait another 21 years, but it is highly likely. Because under this administration, they have weakened the institutions. They have weakened the institutions that were instituted from its genesis to benefit the poor people. This administration doesn't appreciate poor people. They're not trying to create opportunities for the people to be liberated out of poverty.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Holness indicates that Jamaica is now heading into a new phase of Hurricane Melissa response. What phase? A new phase? What was the first phase? Did we get through the first phase? What was the first phase, Mr. Prime Minister? And what will this new phase look like? I tell you, this government is acting as if the people have been relieved from the onslaught of Hurricane Melissa. They are acting as if this country is back on their feet. I'm not sure what it is that the Jamaica Labour Party supporters are drinking. But at this point in time, it cannot be rum. It must be something else. What phase are you entering in? The recovery phase triggered by the devastation wrought when Hurricane Melissa ripped through western Jamaica last October is officially coming to an end, with focus now set to be shifted to reconstruction. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, the doctor, I'm going to read the doctor. Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement yesterday while warning that penalties will be imposed on persons who misuse government-issued hurricane housing grants. So not only that, they are going to impose on persons penalties for the misuse of the government-issued hurricane housing grants. But Mr. Prime Minister, that should answer your question whether or not we are ready to enter in any other phase. The fact that the people are now contemplating on whether or not they should use the housing grants to take care of other things should tell you very clearly that we've not fully recovered to be entering in any new phase. What type of phase are we ready to enter in? You mentioned reconstruction phase. What will that look like? Will it be the reconstruction of the people who have lost their homes? Or will it be reconstruction of the big businesses? The friend and the company. What reconstruction are we to expect now? The rollout of the smart city that are you a lot of persons talking about? Will it be the reconstruction where the international investments will now come again and benefit from the Jamaican people? Where the poor and the vulnerable will have no say or no hope, no chance of owning these lots or these properties? What new phase are you mentioning? What new phase are you going on about? So I am worried, ladies and gentlemen, because to date we are still seeing people who are still facing massive food insecurity. Some people still don't know what a government aid looks like. People still don't have no jobs. People still not getting any food. So what new phase are you entering in when the first phase was not successful? The first phase was never successful. With all the partisan distribution of the aid. What phase are you going into? And who will that reconstruction benefit? I am asking the question again. This new phase of reconstruction, can we expect that the citizens, the regular citizens, those whom their houses were destroyed, can we expect them to be a part of the lot who will benefit from the reconstruction? Well, I am happy that in Bethel town we saw the first newly constructed home being distributed, and there we are seeing Mr. Dr. Dayton Campbell way ahead of you, Mr. Prime Minister. Way ahead of you, Mr. Prime Minister. Because these are things that should have been happening very quickly. Member of Parliament for East Westmoreland, Dr. Dayton Campbell, on Tuesday handed over the first newly constructed Hurricane Melissa recovery home in Bethel town in the parish. The handing over marked the initiative, which started in January, aims to construct between 5 and 10 housing units in each of the 4 divisions in eastern Westmoreland. Can we say a well done to the Member of Parliament? Can we say good job to Dr. Dayton Campbell? That is governance. That is vision. That is seriousness. Can you imagine the opposition is moving 10 steps ahead of the government with all the resources? Can you imagine?
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
How the labor rights them feel? How the labor rights them feel? The labor rights, you should be ashamed of yourself. Can you support this administration? Can you support an administration that is taking so long? You are sitting with all of the billions and the billions and the billions of dollars, and you just entering into reconstruction phase. If anybody should be slow with the recovery progress and process as it relates to giving back houses to the people, it should be the opposition. We have limited resources. The government should be firing on all cylinders. Instead of asking, see what the money them a do, see the money we not ask for. Don't worry, man. The opposition is not like the government. We will ensure that we give back to the people. Tell me which one of the house them the government built. Tell me one house the government of Jamaica has built for people who have suffered from Melissa. Tell me. Tell me. I want to know. Has the government built a house for anybody? I'm just asking. I could be wrong. Labor rights, you can tell me in the comments. You know, I'm a fair man. I don't know everything. But am I missing out something? Has the government rebuilt any house? Again, I could be wrong because I don't want to spread misinformation, propaganda, and disinformation. So for the labor rights, this is your opportunity. As a matter of fact, let me start to take calls right now. Labor rights, call me and tell me if the government has rebuilt one house. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. This is your time to shine. Tell the perspective of one house that the government has rebuilt since Hurricane Melissa. Tell me one house. Tell me about one house that the government has rebuilt. I don't want to hear nothing else. I am giving you the opportunity. See the phone there. Call the phone line. I don't want to hear nothing from them. I don't want to hear no deflection. If the MP, if the Member of Parliament from Eastern Westmoreland can hand over one house so far with the expectation, and a nationwide report this, with the expectation of handing out 5 to 10 housing units in each of the 4 divisions in the Eastern Portland. If the opposition can do that, don't make any excuses for the government who has access to billions of dollars. I am asking you, labor rights, now is your time to shine. Call in. I'm a respectable young man. I won't disrespect you. Call me 1-876-562-8302. Now is your time to shine. The opposition shouldn't be outpacing you on these things. Name one house, proof, address, get the recipient on the line and tell me if the government to date on the 4th of March 2026 if they have built one house. See Marshy calling me. Marshy!
Evening.
Yes.
I can tell you straight and plain, they build none.
My
and
God.
Any labor right can show you one. Then we hang out made and think stone of life.
Yes.
The JLP, they build none. And if they do anything like that, Andrew, let me tell you, listen to this. If they build any, nationwide would have a live broadcast.
Of course. Nationwide. Yes.
If the JLP build a pit latrine, and them are going to open it nationwide, did it?
Yes.
Give me a live broadcast.
Of course.
Live broadcast because they love to talk what you do in bathroom. There be none. But Perry, I hear you say no one. Me just have to say this and run. Quick. Oil prices start to rise, you see? The government not supposed to tell anybody anything because the edge, we pay in the edge, they taking the money and then not paying the insurance.
My God.
So they must come tell we know, so because oil rising on the world market, it's a raise in Jamaica. It's because they don't pay the insurance. Peter Phillips, they take out the edge and the JLP come and take no necessary, but they're still taking the money for us. We pay the I think it's $7 per each gallon, I guess, for the edge fund to protect us when the oil start to raise. So after when this, you can't come tell when nothing when the oil raise. No. I am out of here, Perry.
Blessings, Bashi. By God. Can you imagine talking about the opposition this and the opposition that? Not one house no rebuild, not one Ricardo Bacchus, not one. With the cutting ribbon mentality and culture that this administration has developed over the years, with the PR that they love to do, I'm pretty sure if they did, we would have seen it. It would have been a live broadcast. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Mr. Perry, I am the person who texting about the housing trust. I talk about housing trust tonight. Me upset with him and the whole level how much he take out. I have been trying to apply for a housing scheme out. I don't have the money to buy an open market. I may work at this is a public sector place. May I work government. May I pay me housing trust. And each time I apply them, I tell me I don't have enough points. So I can't deal with it no more. I plan to figure right in one later, you know. And I plan to go up at Jamaica house.
Caller, you have to do what you have to do.
Me have two couple of years from 60. I'm still a parent. I'm a pay housing trust.
My God.
It's not fair to me.
It's not fair, caller. Wow.
It's not fair to me, Mr. Perry. It's not fair to me. Because I am paying, my daughter paying, and we try to apply together. And we can't get through. We do one application or the one. We don't get a name. Help me out, no don't like you go Dayton Road. Around the stuff.
Yes, man.
Right. Them say if we apply, so we are wait. It's a 3 weeks time, so we are wait. Me call you back and tell if me get through.
Yeah, man, you let us know.
Yeah.
My
Go
God.
and play with fire. Me proud of you. Me proud of you as a young man. Me couldn't be your mother, so me proud of you.
Thank you.
I may have children in your age group.
Yes, man.
Know
Bless you.
yourself. A change will come.
Yes.
Change will come. Yeah.
Bless you.
Alright, brother.
Can you imagine? The dream for every Jamaican, ladies and gentlemen, is to own a home where you can raise your family and call it your own. Not one house. Look how long people are pay NHT, and them are going to take 11.4 billion from it. Can you imagine? Go ahead, caller.
Good night, Perry Cummings Jr. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. You?
I'm good so far. Keep the fire burning, my brother. I just call you to big you up, my brother. God bless you, my brother. Keep up the good work and stay focused and continue to speak truth to power.
Blessings, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, God bless you, my brother. We will talk next time.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. Ladies and gentlemen, well, the phone lines are now open. It is a shame and a disgrace. Well, look at this, though. You know, here's what the Prime Minister said. as relates to housing?
Housing in Jamaica. Yes, it's a financing problem, but just getting financing is not sufficient to solve the problem. All right, so financing is a necessary condition for housing, but is not sufficient.
All of a sudden, oh, finance is not a big part of the housing problems in Jamaica. Well, what did we expect to come from you, Mr. Prime Minister? You're going to be taking 11.4 and you're going to come under heavy criticisms for it. We don't expect you to come out and admit anything. All of a sudden, it's not a big part of the problem.
The problem we have in housing today is what we describe.
Look at the lady that bite.
We are having an earthquake. Oh God.
That's an earthquake?
Look at the lady, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the lady. Look at the lady that's sitting down. Look at the lady that is sitting down. The lady now bite one bit. She now buy one thing what the man saying. Look at this.
So the problem with housing in Jamaica, yes, it's a financing problem, but just getting financing is not sufficient to solve the problem. All right, so financing is a necessary condition for housing, but it is not sufficient. Big problem we have in housing today is what we describe as a mortgage. You have to be able to pay that mortgage. You have to find the deposit. Those are financing issues. And the NHT is there to help make the financing of your housing consumption, your housing purchase, easier. The surprising thing, however, is that the more you increase financing for housing, in other words, the more you make it easier for people to be able to purchase houses, in the face of limited supply of housing, what you end up doing sometimes is driving up the price of housing. Everybody see that point? In other words, you're creating more effective demand, but you're not actually meeting it with the supply. You don't have enough houses on the market. And so what happens is that everybody competes for the limited houses that are there. And it's a real competition. What has actually driven up the price more is that there are persons who will come in to Joe, right, and Peter, and say, boy, I love this house. Fully done.
What is the Prime Minister saying? What is the Prime Minister saying? I'm trying to follow what is this body saying? What is the role of the NHT, Mr. Prime Minister? The problem that you're highlighting, that's the reason why the NHT exists. Not understanding what he's saying.
And you have it at 31, and he said, I don't have any more. And he said, no man, I'll give you 33 for it. And that's the competition for housing. And it is happening right across the housing market as we speak. So what is government's role in all of this? Yes, we have to secure the financing. I think we have largely addressed that part of it. Because, I'll give some figures in my budget debate to further clarify these points. But the real issue for us now is to build housing at scale. So I gather this project is for 300 houses. We need contractors and housing builders and developers who will take on 10,000 houses at a time. We are not there yet. Wicon would be probably one of the few contractors who would be able to take on housing developments at that scale.
I don't understand what this man. Go ahead, caller.
Good night, Brother Perry.
Good night.
You know, say I have never seen a wickeder man than this man in all my life.
My God, that's what you
Fidel
said.
Castro never wicked, so you know. No, something wrong. Brother Perry, something wrong where we don't know about,
Yes, I agree.
Jesus of mercy. Mr. The man talk no truth. Everything he talking just twist it and he just bring it and he just Jesus, no.
I
not
don't understand.
one house. Not so where the trillions of money gone?
I don't know, Carla. I don't understand what him saying. The problems that the Prime Minister is talking about as it relates to housing, Carla, is the very reason why you need to strengthen the NHT. So that the people can... I don't understand what he's saying.
The man they coming like him a con artist. No, sir.
I understand.
Jesus.
Trying to understand what the man is saying. But thank you, Carla. I don't understand.
Yeah, alright, thank you.
I don't understand.
They have the experience, they have the history, they have it within Portmore. But there are not many other contractors who could build at that scale. I'm thinking immediately maybe one or two more. But even if we had the contractors who could build at scale, the other constraint is the land. We don't have enough land that is concentrated in one particular area, as Portmore was, which allowed for building out at scale. Bear in mind, I can hear the retort, you have land all over Jamaica. Not every land is suitable for housing. And if you build on those lands, you increase the cost of housing.
The people are listening and they're saying, what is this man saying? I'm telling you, the people are not convinced. The people are wondering, what is this man saying?
Perry.
Greetings.
Good night. I'm gonna say this, right, Perry? So this man, he's speaking a lot of parables, and this is what he's doing. In 5 years from now, he's gonna try to bankrupt the National Housing Trust.
My God.
And make NARA, which is supposed to be a short-term help, NARA will become the next housing trust.
My God.
This man is destroying everything that Michael Manley and the PMP built. And you know what they do? So all the corruption money, scamming money, all the money that they stole goes into real estate. That's how they clean the money. So once it goes into real estate, they build these houses and sell it at a very high price. Then they dump the money into the bank, and then the money become clean. He is making it so hard-working poor people have no chance in Jamaica. That is what this man is doing. He's a very conniving and calculating man, this man that you see. Yep, he's a criminal. Lord, God bless Jamaica, my home sweet home, Perry. Keep praying for the people here.
I have to. We have to. Thank you so much.
All right, have a good night.
Yes, blessings. My God. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? Listen to the nonsense.
For example, if you build on lands that are far away, let's say, from where people work, the cost to people who buy that is going to be higher. They have to pay more in public transportation and all kinds of things. But more than that, we can't build the land in the middle of the house, in the middle of nowhere. We are going to have to provide roads.
Exactly. That's why when it comes to development, Mr. Prime Minister, you bring businesses, and businesses will be attracted to these areas. If I have business and I know that housing is going to be developed in an area, though it may be far away from the towns and the different cities and the different service providers, that is the whole point of development. Nothing is confined to any one location. If I know say housing scheme a build around this up, it incentivizes the government to build new roads, create new businesses, and develop the country. So I'm not understanding the argument. But what is he trying to communicate here?
Bring electricity, bring sewage, bring water. The cost is going to go up. Why Portmore became the sweet spot for housing was its proximity to Kingston and the construction of the Causeway Bridge. Further, it was uncontested land.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I see the calls coming in. I'm going to take the calls in between time. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, Perry.
Yes, greetings.
Most of what this guy is talking is bullshit, nonsense, and he knows it. All he has to do is just follow the PNP plan, and that's it. Done, matter done.
Exactly. I don't understand what the I'm trying to understand what is his point.
There's no point at all. Everybody's stupid and foolish and have no sense.
But the people are sitting down, Carl, and listening to this.
That's the point.
My God, I don't understand.
It's just total rubbish. Total rubbish. And he knows it.
Boy, I don't understand, caller. But thanks. Thank you so much.
Okay, good.
I don't understand. Listen to what the Prime Minister is saying.
There was nobody already living here. It was a low-lying swamp which the government reclaimed. Now think about government trying to do this somewhere else, where people have already started to build. Some have already started to squat on the land illegally. You find all kinds of irregularly settled communities. You're going to have to negotiate with them. Then you have to find place to put those who that you'll have to relocate. So the challenge for us as we seek to solve the housing problem is to solve the supply side of the issue. How have we started to do that? One, we have started to do master planning of entire communities. And the first of that major master plan would be the Bernard Lodge community, here again in St. Catherine, Portmore, the parish. And that is going very well. But if you get a chance, you should go and see what is being done in the Greater Bernard Lodge development program. Similar to what was done.
Yes. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, man. Hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, Perry.
Yes.
Stop put up this man by you. My brother, my son. I hate this man. What the hell is this man telling Jamaican people? Huh? What is he telling Jamaican people? He's taking Jamaicans for fool.
I don't understand. I'm trying to understand what is. I'm literally trying.
There's nothing there for us to understand. It's a group of us here in Canada and we're watching this. Take this program to work. Perry, this man is sick and is misleading. I have 2 daughters in Jamaica and they work so hard and they tried a million times to get a house to housing trust in Montego Bay and never get it. I'm working out there for years and I never get nothing, Perry. It's when Portia Simpson Miller build those houses in Flanker, we got houses. And this man come eat nothing, Perry. I went away when he won the election.
Wow! You went away?
I went away. I couldn't stomach him to know that he won and I have to live there. I run away, Perry. This man is a wicked and unclearing man. Trust me, Perry. Trust me, Perry. Perry, thank you guys for your program, man.
Yes.
Thank you.
Blessings,
Have a good
God.
night, man.
Blessings. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, the issues that the Prime Minister is highlighting as it relates to housing? It is simple as this. Strengthen the National Housing Trust. Right? People can live anywhere in the country. Once, of course, the lands are suitable. Once it's not land that is prone to flooding and things of that nature. That's what I'm not talking about. But on a matter of development. That is the reason why you incentivize businesses to go into these places because people are going to always go where the customers are. And that's how you build out development and infrastructure in the country. I have to play him because we have to debunk what he's saying. I know a lot of you don't want to hear him. It is so sad. Can you imagine? So many people don't even want to hear the Prime Minister talk. It is sad.
In the Greater Portmore program. And we have launched the Greater Inchwood Development program. So Greater Bernard Lodge will give us anywhere from 10 to 15,000 houses, depending on what the developers do with the lands that they have. They have the densities there that they could go up to 15,000 houses.
A lot of people sitting down there. Look at the facial expressions of a lot of these people. A lot of these people know that what the Prime Minister is saying. A lot of things that the Prime Minister is saying, it is irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the issues here. Exactly, Ricardo. Portmore was swampland, yet the land was repurposed. So what is the point? With the access to technology in this day and age, it shouldn't be an issue to repurpose land so that the people can build up them.
In Inchwood, and I'm encouraging our developers to take a look at Inchwood when it is finally brought to the public. They should have the capacity of anywhere from 5 to 10,000 houses there. And that's the level of housing output that the country needs. So the beauty of doing the master planning is that we bring lands that are already in proximity to urban spaces, so we lessen the infrastructure need. We build the infrastructure so the developer does not have to take on those costs. We reduce the approval time because these parish councils are not always...
Look at how the people them confused. The people them sitting down and listening, they are lost. Look at this lady a while ago. There's this there's a lady a while ago who don't understand what
is that we bring lands that are already in proximity to urban spaces, lessen the infrastructure need. We build the infrastructure so the developer does not have to take on those.
Look at this lady.
We reduce.
Look at this. Look at the lady and the man. Look at the lady and the man, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the lady and look at the man. I'm not telling any lies on the premise. Look at the lady. They don't know what this man is saying.
Me ever fresh. Me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who you know?
Look at the lady and look at the man. They're trying to understand what is the point, where is it going, what are you trying to communicate. You're taking $11.4 billion out of the NHT, right, for the next 5 years. And you're going to talk about issues that we are facing when it comes to housing, but you are intentionally crippling the very institution that was set up to address these issues. The people are looking and they are wondering, what is it that he's saying?
The approval time, because these parish councils are not always easy to deal with as a Portmore municipality. Municipalities have to find revenues and they have to ensure that developments meet the best interests of their constituents. I do, however, believe, as I'm addressing this matter of municipal planning authorities, that they should not see themselves as obstacles. They should not see themselves as a bureaucracy that's difficult to navigate. Instead, they should see themselves as enablers, as actually... If I were the...
Listen, the Prime Minister has no... Mr. Prime Minister, your arguments are not making any sense. Your arguments are not making it. I'm sorry.
Fully done.
The Prime Minister is... Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it is as simple as this. We have an issue in our country. We have an issue in our country. The issue is that we have a lot of private institutions, a lot of private companies who are in the real estate business, who are making houses and schemes at a very high cost. Very expensive to buy these houses. Right? The reality is the cost of living, the earning of our Jamaicans, the purchasing power is poor to the average Jamaican citizen. Majority of Jamaica is from an low income to medium income household. Therefore, the cost for housing from these private institutions, the money that is being earned, we cannot afford to buy these houses at these prices. So, because Michael Manley knew that this would have been a reality, people are out there to try and make a profit. If I have a business where I am selling houses, my aim is to always make a profit. So you cannot impose on private developers and private home developers to bring down their costs to meet the demands of the people. It is unreasonable for you to ask people to do that. The aim is to make a profit. Therefore, the NHT was thus implemented and funded by its contributors to give them the opportunity to own home, to purchase their homes at an affordable cost. It is as simple as that. You're trying to complicate the conversation. That it needs no complexity to it. The NHT was instituted to address this very same issue. What they don't want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is that a lot of these politicians, they have their own companies that they want to benefit from the real estate in this country. They want to kick NHT out of the conversation. A lot of them have them business and them have them shares in these companies. And if NHT is functioning the way it should, then people are going to go to the cheaper options, obviously. So what they are doing, ladies and gentlemen, is a coordinated attack against the NHT. It is a coordinated attack against the National Housing Trust. Because in order for them and them friend and them big business to benefit in the real estate business, they have to give people no choice. So don't come to us and give all sort of... Listen, the issue is, ladies and gentlemen, all of this attack against the National Housing Trust is to benefit a few people and to bring a great disadvantage to the majority. It is as simple as that. We don't need to hear a million words. We don't need to hear a million words and highfalutin languages for us to understand what is happening here. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, is that the rich people them have them company and they want people to buy feed them house. But because NHT has been a threat for many years and people rather to invest in the NHT than in the banks, I wonder if I should talk. Because people are investing in the NHT rather than the banks. Remember, a call and said for 21 years they've been contributing to the NHT. You don't think the banks wouldn't want those investments? You don't think the banks wouldn't want those investments? And them friend and company who own these different real estate agencies and companies, and they want people to buy them house. Because of that, ladies and gentlemen, they are coordinating an attack against one of the institutions that has for years benefited thousands of Jamaicans. That is what they don't want to tell you. They can come and talk all that they want to talk. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, get rid of NHT, people will have no choice but to go to the banks. When people go to the banks, the interest rates, the profit for all of those who are at the top. So all of what they're saying, ladies and gentlemen, it is irrelevant to the realities that we're facing. The reality is, and the aim is, to make a profit. And all that they will do, ladies and gentlemen, all that they will do is to cause life to be harder for the poor and the vulnerable in this country. We have an uncaring government. Not one house built so far by the government since Hurricane Melissa Dr. Dayton Campbell handed over his first one, and I'm hearing that in Hanover the PNP did the same thing too. Not one house has been built. You're going to come and talk about housing issues in Jamaica? If you cared about the housing crisis in our country, you would have done the due diligence as government and ensure that the NHT was not being weakened. Here is another incompetent minister talking about what is happening over in the world, our Jamaicans who are in the Middle East. Incompetence.
The government of Jamaica continues to monitor with concern the rapidly evolving security situation in the Middle East, which has further deteriorated in recent days. The government hopes for an immediate cessation of hostilities and urges calm and restraint for the protection of civilian life. The public is reminded of the guidance offered in our most recent advisory to avoid all travel to the region. Nationals already in the Middle East are encouraged to exercise extreme caution and to follow instructions from official sources. It is noted that commercial air services across parts of the region have been disrupted, with cancellations and
all this government is going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is just talk. What are you going to do to try and assist the Jamaicans who are under threat? What are we going to do? It's like the ministers are coming out stunting, ladies and gentlemen. All I'm hearing is a lot of nonsense.
To a lab in the United States for detailed analysis. Results are expected within 2 to 3 months. This is not simply a technical exercise, it is a meaningful step towards understanding the geological potential of offshore Jamaica. The data collected is state of the art and will inform evidence-based decision making.
Mr. Vaz, we don't want to find oil under this administration. We have no confidence that the people will benefit. How we know? So we don't already know if the oil and whatever the samples that them get not approved already. I don't already make no moves to say how we can get a hand in it. We don't trust, you know. I'm just asking a question, you know. I don't want nobody come and try sue me.
About the country's energy future. I want to commend the technical teams, marine crews, regulators and support personnel who ensure the safe and successful completion of this mission. As we await the lab results, the government remains committed to a responsible science-led approach. Exploration does not mean exploitation without safeguards. It means gathering facts, analyzing data and making informed decisions in the best interest of Jamaica. So once again, I caution everybody to be patient and calm and to listen to the government on this very sensitive matter. 2 to 3 months before we hear anything.
We don't want to hear anything from you, Mr. Vaz, nor your government. We want a trusted source. The people who came and did the exploration, why we can't hear it directly from them? Next thing we'll go here say, oh, the samples cannot be used. But really and truly it can be used, and before we know it, privatized companies take over whatever them find down there. And friend and company again start benefit. And Jamaica is under the impression that the samples weren't good and we don't have oil that can go on the market. That's what they want us to believe. That's what they want us to believe. We don't want to hear anything from you and the administration that you are a part of. We want to hear from the people.
Positive or negative, and therefore we don't expect to have anything rumors circulating about discoveries of oil or gas. When I tell you that is so, then it is so. Until such time, we just hope and pray.
We don't want to just hope and pray. We don't want to hear anything from this administration. You labor rights cannot be trusted. When you come out and tell us that oh, the oil cannot be used. The samples that were gathered, they cannot be used. We don't want to hear anything. We want to hear from the source. That's what we want to hear. From the source. Let us hear from the people who came and did the exploration. And then we will make our decisions after. But ladies and gentlemen, not one house built so far by the government. They are entering into a new phase, they say. A new phase post Hurricane Melissa. And from where I sit, ladies and gentlemen, the first phase was atrocious. This government has not proven to be reliable. Our people are suffering in this nation. They weaken the NHT and come out and talk about the issues that we're having as it relates to housing in the country, to protect their interests and their interest groups. Jamaica is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. There's trouble on every side. But I'm waiting, I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating how the opposition will deal with these matters. It is a sad day in our country because the poor and the vulnerable will continue to get the bitter end of the stick. So this prosperity that we hear the Jamaica Labour Party speak about, who is getting the prosperity? Prosperity for who? No doubt that some people are getting a lot of prosperity in this country. But who? Ladies and gentlemen, join me tomorrow, same time. Let's pray. Father, we give you thanks for another day. We give you thanks for your mercies. We give you thanks for your grace. We give you thanks that you are in control. A lot is happening in our nation and we ask for your divine intervention. Lord, when it comes to housing, a lot of people, they've been waiting all their lives to own a home. So much is happening. A lot of people are sad and they are discouraged. Lord, I pray that you will bless these systems and the institutions that were designed to help the poor. And I pray against the powers that be that seeks to rid these institutions of those powers to make opportunities for the poor. The reality is, mighty God, a lot of Jamaicans are struggling, and with what is going to be happening to this country in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months, it calls for great concern. But we are putting Jamaica before you. We're putting our people before you. We're putting the government before you. We're putting the opposition before you. We're putting our different ministries and organizations before you. Because, Lord, if you don't intervene, if you don't act, then we will surely perish. These and the other mercies we ask of you. In Jesus' name, amen. We say amen. We say amen. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to support the Cash App and the Zelle. Thank you for all those who have been supporting the Cash App and the Zelle. Listen, man, I can't do it without you, you know. I have a major event on my birthday, the 12th of April, and I want you all to support. We have costs to cover. You know, it takes capital to do what we need to do. Please WhatsApp me at 1-876-562-8302 for the Cash App and the Zelle. I want to raise at least $2,000 $2,000 to take care of certain costs so that we can have a wonderful time in the Lord. A wonderful time in the Lord. So it's a gospel concert. It's a fundraiser as well for myself and for the young people from the youth group at Fellowship Tabernacle. We're coming together to put on a wonderful event for the young people. We'll be having different gospel recording artists and things of that nature. If you want to support, please WhatsApp me for the Zelle, the Cash App, the Western Union information, my local bank account. I'm looking forward to your support. Thank you each and every time. The Perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
The Perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them a rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place. No safe, Mr. Prime Minister. Are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this is my perspective, telling you my perspective.
Wow.